Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. This is The Amateur, where we're here to talk life, hobbies, politics, ideologies, what have you. And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about the Georgia Senate race between Warnock and Walker. I am very, I'm from Georgia, I'm literally wearing a shirt. Can you read it? G. So I'm from Georgia, so I'm speaking on this because this race somewhat concerns me. And I just think, as far as with the Senate races recently, that they've been strange. At least, what is it? Is it Fetterman and Dr. Oz in Pennsylvania? Those are the options that they have. And one man, poor man, recently, survived a stroke but can hardly speak. And it's not to make fun of him or anything, but it's maybe you should sit this one out, and just kind of not be in such a stressful environment. I'm legit concerned about mental health when it comes to things like that. I just don't believe the Senate would be best for him. Not a fan of Dr. Oz either. I think I already gave that rant there. But in Georgia, we have Raphael. So in Georgia, we have the current senator, Raphael Warnock, who is a preacher's son. I guess he was a preacher or pastor, but his beliefs or whatever he practices or votes for don't necessarily align with the Christian values, is the best that I can say as far as my knowledge goes. And then the other candidate on the Republican side is Herschel Walker, who... he's a very inspirational man in terms of his physical prowess and his physical career. He was a Heisman Trophy winner, I believe, out of UGA is where he graduated from, but I believe he lived in Dallas in Texas for most of the time before coming back to Georgia to run for Senate. And he has a great, I think he joined UFC temporarily just to bring more awareness to the sport. So
Carson in the blue gloves, a little anxious to get things started, and why not? And Walker already getting into the zone, and he strikes and nails Carson immediately. And then he wanted to showcase more of his stand-up stuff.
Mouthpiece went through the cage, out on the deck. His corner man grabbed the mouthpiece.
And Walker, Jackson's draw with the left hand, the referee steps in. Herschel Walker improves to 2-0 as a mixed martial artist.
He is a man of great physical aptitude and great physical skill as far as with his mental capabilities. That's been brought into question, and his mental aptitudes kind of negatively, just from my perspective. And I think I'm probably biased just because as far as I've been looking into politics and the rhetorics, I tend to favor the more conservative side, which tends to be the Republican side. But I just think it's interesting, just the level of competence or lack thereof that's going on into these races. And so the problem with the current Georgia Senate race, so Senator Warnock, who is the current or the incumbent Senate seat for Georgia, is obviously Democrat, and is up for election to, neither of them are, career politicians is what I would say. So they haven't been in the system long enough. And I'm just trying to look into the history of research as to who or what is going on in Georgia, essentially. Because again, Herschel Walker is being attacked for his intelligence. He's being called a dumb black man. He's being called I think if I recall correctly, he's being called a political puppet for the white man of the Republican Party or something along those lines, that he can't think for himself. He's just doing as told.
And I say it on record, and I say it again, he's one of the dumbest individuals you ever meet in your natural life.
Now you ask, why are Republicans backing this man who's so clearly unintelligent, who so clearly doesn't have independent thoughts? But that's actually the reason. Walker's going to do what he's told. And that's what Republicans like. That's what Republicans want from their Negroes, to do what they're told.
And so again, like for me, like I definitely don't favor the policies that Warnock has been pushing or providing as far as when it comes to, let me see what he said. So for Warnock, he's a pro-choice person, which is automatically a red flag for me, personally. So he's pro-choice, and he's also supposed to be a Christian pastor, and those two things don't add up. They don't add up, and the math ain't mathin' for that for me. So for me, that's like a big red flag. And I forgot to mention this earlier, but one of the points of speculation for Herschel Walker was all the lies that him said. He didn't actually graduate from UGA. I think he just played for UGA until he didn't. I don't know his history, but he played for UGA until he didn't. He didn't actually graduate, and then there's a lot of the contention against Herschel Walker are the lies that he's said, proven or unproven. CNN has like a fact checked of the fact checked it. I think there's one that I just saw. Let me see if I can. So CNN fact checked Herschel Walker falsely claims he never falsely claimed that he lied. He graduated from University of Georgia, and like they're saying that was false, that he that he did do that. It's a fact checking the fact check, but essentially with Herschel Walker is he's lied about his accolades when going on speeches and tours and whatnot, especially when it comes to education, and just like other things that he's lied about. I'll see if I can't find the video.
The last thing before we go tonight, Herschel Walker's lies. Republican Georgia Senate candidate Herschel Walker said there that he wants to be a leader like Trump. Well, with his climbing number of lies, he's getting a lot closer to that goal. The latest is that he said on at least 3 separate occasions that he worked in law enforcement. Well, for fact's sake, let's clear things up. According to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, in a 2017 speech, Walker said this: "I work with the Cobb County Police Department, and I have been in criminal justice all my life." Then 2 years later, while giving a speech to soldiers, he said, "I spent time at Quantico at the FBI training school. Y'all didn't know I was an agent?" They didn't know because he wasn't. And according to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Cobb County Police Department said they have no record of any involvement with Walker. His campaign said in a statement to Newsweek the following: "Herschel studied criminal justice at the University of Georgia and has supported and worked with law enforcement for years, including speaking to police about mental health, leading women's self-defense training, participating in the FBI Academy at Quantico, and being awarded honorary deputy status in Cobb, along with 3 other Georgia counties." All of that explanation to say, you're right, he didn't work in law enforcement. And as we said, that is just the latest of Walker's lies that have recently come to light. He also claimed that he owned companies that don't actually exist. He lied about his college achievements, and in 2020, he falsely claims that he knew of a mist that prevented COVID. Watch this.
Do you know right now I have something that can bring you into a building that would clean you from COVID as you walk through this dry mist? As you walk through the door, it will kill any COVID on your body. EPA, FDA approved.
A mist that will clean you from COVID? That reminded us of something.
And then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
And that is the leader who Herschel Walker wants to model himself after.
But when it comes to his political beliefs, at least what he's saying he does support, he's a pro-life person. I think I'm getting this from votesmart.org. That allows you to look at the positions of candidates or incumbents based off speeches that they've said or things that they've done on TV. And so on abortion, he says, as a Christian, a father, and a husband, Herschel knows that strong families are the bedrock of our country. Herschel's upbringing in rural Georgia instilled a personal faith in God, which he carries with him to this day. He prays every day for this country, and with God's help, will bring those values with him to Washington. Herschel is a passionate conservative who's pro-life and pro-family. And this is based off what was pulled from his website from teamherschel.com. He's also against gun control regulations, as far as with how difficult it has been recently to maintain gun control laws. What else was there? Increase in defense spending is what he supports, and unknown positions everywhere else. And so we have this case, or especially for someone like myself, where, you know, Herschel Walker's past lies are a testament or a statement to his moral and to his morals and to his character. So it is problematic. And so I think it's definitely, in cases like this, I think it's definitely interesting to look at what people are or are not willing to look past or to accept or allow versus what they don't. Because, like, especially in a case like, again, you had President Trump and you had Hillary Clinton, or President Joe Biden, and the things that people are willing to overlook to put someone in the position they are, because those are the options that they are currently faced with. You know what I mean? So, like, with President Trump, a lot of people were willing to overlook his negative statements that he may have said about grabbing a chick by her hoo-ha, and I think that was like the main thing that he said. That was like the main thing that I remember on his the campaigns against him, where people are willing to overlook the past 40 years of Joe Biden's deficiencies in government and policies in order to elect him, because he wasn't Trump. And so, you know, it's interesting. I think it's interesting to look at it. So for my case, where we have something like, you know, Senator Warnock, who seems to be slightly more apt and skilled within the political realm, but I don't support his policies upon the premise that he's a pro-choice man. Like, that's just a red flag. It's just a red flag for me. So, like, I can't vote for him, which means for me, like, I would be willing to overlook the lies that have been stated by Herschel Walker previously, in the hope that he would press forward for the values and beliefs that I find more important than the lies that he may have stated earlier about his personal accolades, if that makes any sense.
You seen that he voted to put men in women's sports. That's sort of like saying you want Herschel Walker to compete against your daughter. That's what he's saying. I don't think men should be in women's sports. Right now, he won't answer the question, can a man get pregnant? I answer that for him. No, they can't get pregnant. Because I can promise you right now, Iran, Russia, and China are not worried about pronouns. They're not worried about pronouns out there. A grenade not worried about how you identify. A bullet not worried about the color of your skin. So we got to remove wokeness from our military. And then the guy I'm running against, he said he can't serve God and the military at the same time. And I'm like, God, does he not believe in redemption? Does he not believe in forgiveness? Because he also made another statement. He said America need to apologize for its whiteness. And I'm like, wait a minute. Have you not read the Bible? Forgiveness? Moving forward? Because he's in a church of a man that said it's not the color of your skin, but the content of your character. And all he talks about is the color of your skin. Well, it is time for us to put leaders in Washington that's not going to worry about that. They're going to worry about America. And that's what we need to worry about. We need to worry about America. We need to worry about the people. Because right now, you seen the crime? You seen the crime the guy I'm running against? Called out men and women names. I want him to apologize to them. Defund the police? Who came up with that bright idea? That doesn't work. It hasn't been working. Even our president is trying to separate. Guys, we have our problems, but we solve those problems together. And the way you do it is by putting strong people in Washington that's going to do the right thing. That is easy to do. Do the right thing. People ask me and they thank me for running. I said, don't thank me for running. God has blessed me. And right now, my family is in problems. They got problems. And all of you in my family, I don't care what color you are. Because I'm going to tell you right now, my Father, my Heavenly Father hasn't seen color. He see your heart. So we got to get back to that.
So I guess the point of this obviously was just to bring a highlight to that particular race that's going on down in Georgia, where I think is really cool that we get to see both candidates being two black well-off-to-do men. I think that's nice to see, and so that's also less able to claim racism in a case like that. But though they're still using race. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. What are you willing to look over? What are some pasts or historical past, personal past of a candidate that you're willing to overlook? Or what are the things that you're not willing to overlook in order to select a candidate? I think that's something that's interesting to know. But what the heck do I know? I'm just an amateur. A short video for today because a lot of the last couple of videos have been extra long. But leave a comment, drop a comment what you think based off the stuff that I presented in this video, which wasn't much. But like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.